The impact of influence, Green Valley. Home is 40 acres and a lot of love. Whatever or wherever you call home, it must have love attached to it. Love at its core and love as its boundary. Home has to be identified by love. My home is called the Valley, and it can certainly be identified as love. Green Valley, South Arlington, Virginia, 46 acres of Virginia heaven. This was purchased in 1669 and passed down through families until the 1800s, and then offered as an opportunity for freed slaves to purchase and own property in 1844. Levi and Sarah Ann Jones bought land and built a home there. The Jones family sold some of their property to other black families, and Green Valley, named after Green Valley Manor, began to grow. It's also known as Knock, after John Knock, who purchased 46 acres in 1874. Black families migrated to the valley after the Civil War, especially following the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863. Freedman's Village, once under the confiscation of Robert E. Lee, became an iconic cultural center as freed black men settled and thrived there after the war. These 46 acres are a testament to black greatness, fortified by social and racial friction, crafting a legacy of strength, will, and persistence. Home was Our Lady, Queen of Peace, Lomax AME, Mount Zion Church, and my home church, Macedonia Baptist. These buildings were filled with dreams, ideas, concepts, and faith. Leadership gathered there, hoping that their conversations and prayers would reach this community and the people around them. A small school opened in 1875 under Lomax Chapel, later becoming the Kemper School in 1883. It evolved into Kemper Annex and eventually Charles R. Drew Elementary in 1952. That school was the launching pad for greatness and goodness, the heart and soul of that community. The valley became 46 acres of black excellence. Families, generations of families, settled, prospered, and proudly made this 46-acre home. Despite the racism and hate surrounding those 46 acres, the community used the societal boundaries to create a space where businesses thrived, families grew, and leadership was fully present, even near the Pentagon. A boundary indeed, but not out of reach. Seen, heard, felt. As a child of the 1960s, I lived through interesting times. I initially went to an all-black elementary school, played after school with all-black kids, and went into an all-black church. I attended all-black parties, and the neighborhood was amazing. One mom was every mom, and every child was everyone's child. If anyone needed anything, we all rallied. We met in the hallways of schools, on the walks to and from school, and on the lawns and porches after school, sharing and loving. At the end of my block was South Walter Reed Drive. It ran long and bold, making the boundary of Arlington County. It was amazing, imposing, inviting, and wavering. You always hear about the other side of the tracks, the other side of town. Well, this was Arlington's. On one side of the street, all black. By simply crossing that street, it was all white, literally called the white section. It was like an invisible force field, never to be crossed, never to be entered. But it was there, almost daring differences to meet, cross, and move on. In 1970, as a third grader at Charles R. Drew School, there was talk of busing students from all black schools to predominantly white ones on the other side of town. I was told I would be sent to a place called Stonewall Jackson Elementary, named after a Confederate general. I would be part of the integration, and I needed to adapt. This change would bring both benefit and consequences, good and bad. I would need to adapt. Everyone would, and everyone did. Day one, fourth grade, September 1971. I was put on a bus with a handful of other friends, and we rode miles across in the dark. And we rode miles across town in the dark, early morning hours, to our new school. We were greeted by protesting parents, but also by a few heroic parents who made sure we knew that we were not alone. Pat Davis was my teacher, a black woman whose name I knew because she had taught at Drew School previously. Miss Davis was wonderful, strong, brilliant, beautiful, and a force. She whispered to me that I had to do well in her class. Not just well, but better than well. I had to be greater. I had to do all the work and then some. I had to smile more, work more, and play less. She was going to be tougher on me than the others, for my good, for our good. Many days she held my hand in private to keep me on the right path. I can still see the look in her eyes daring me to be great, demanding that I be great. Give me the answer, young man. Know the answer, young man. Even if I don't ask you to respond to the class, know the answer, young man. I remember Dr. Johnson, our principal, walking onto the bus and securing our walk past the protesting parents into the school. He had security with him. Once inside, we planned to move forward. The students had to succeed. We had to all be on the same page at all times. Stay connected, be positive, and look out for each other. I remember thinking, just make it to recess. I sat down in class and we were seated alphabetically. Next to me were George May, Bobby McClellan, and Debbie Patterson. On the other side was Patricia Roman. Patty was light brown. She was a sight. The first few hours were painful, being stared at, whispered about. Just make it to recess. Just make it to recess. Day one, recess arrived, and I followed the crowd of kids out the door and onto the blacktop. There were basketball courts and space for kickball. There were jungle gyms and room to run and hide. There was a fence surrounding the playground, and at that fence there were parents. Lots of parents. Conversations had taken place before school that day. Some parents had told their kids to stay away from the black children, while others had said to befriend them. I found some kids shooting hoops and walked up to them. I remember Eddie Miller looking at me with the ball in his hands. He one-hopped to bounce past me with a smile, and the game was on. I remember Eddie, George May, Bobby Fritz, Doug Walker, Mickey Higdon, Steve Riggle, and Jerome Duke Miller, Jerry Walker. Those were my guys. That was the core of the hoop crew at any recess. The conversations were innocent. It gave me some normalcy. That crew grew over time, and Bobby McClellan befriended me in a way that still sticks with me today. Her friendship remains valuable to me even today. I made some great friends on that playground. I would struggle through the days at school, then board the bus and ride back home. Duke, Jerry, Gloria, Ina, Smoke. We would gather around the bus driver, Miss Barber. She lived on my street and always made sure we were okay. She offered advice when needed, lessons when warranted, and set serious boundaries for our safety and well-being. She would deliver us home to our parents with love, a smile, and a reminder of why it all mattered. The neighborhood kids would meet up, even though many of us were now going to different schools. Kids who lived just across the street from me attended a totally different school. We shared lessons, stories of new people, new cultures, new faces, and new struggles. We were all strangers in our new environments, but we carried the wisdom of the valley with us, shielding ourselves with pride and upholding the standards of who we were and who we should be. The valley was an incredible resource. The families, the names, the history, and the friends. Music played in full, dances at the rec center, sports contests and games we invented. We played tetherball, hoops, touch football, basketball games at 21, ping pong. The rec center offered music classes. I learned to play guitar there, surrounded by amazing mentors. There were big brothers and sisters, family legacies, and even concerts. Imagine the great Dr. John in the 1970s playing on your street. And we saw incredible bands at our festivals. They were called Summers in the Park. Cookouts and barbecues were abundant. Dance-offs and dance shows were the norm. I still smile whenever I hear the godfather of soul, James Brown. As a kid, he was my idol. Whenever the rec centers had dance contests, I'd enter and do my James Brown impersonation. I'd even do his famous splits and inevitably rip my pants. I'd run home afterwards with the prize and torn up pants. All those Saturdays dancing for my family paid off. But I better win because the prize money was the only way I could replace those ripped jeans. I can still hear my sisters meeting my mom at the door as she dragged herself home from a long day's work. "Ma, Derrick ripped his pants again." Each sister would take turns gleefully announcing my ripped pants, eagerly anticipating the mom's stare that followed. It didn't matter which one said it. They all took some joy from it. I love them all for it. Diane, Deborah, Renee, and Shelley, you are home to me in every way. To my brother Leroy, Robert, and Harold, thank you for being life's greatest resource and pool. I love you all so much. Home is love. 8 brothers and sisters gave love in full. I later found out I had more siblings on my father's side, but that's a story for another time. I grew up with 3 brothers and 4 sisters. I was number 7, and I was surrounded by love. Mischief and mayhem, chaos and calm, love and war, lessons and losses, and a lifetime of memories. My heroes were at home, and home was wonderful. We had wonderful weekend get-togethers at my grandmother's house just 1 street away and later 2 streets away when she moved. My close family are all heroes to me. From my mother, Queen Elizabeth, to my stepfather, Roland, my grandfather, Buster, and the family matriarch, my grandmother, Hannah Sue. This core of people love me in ways that still define love for me today. Anyone cooking for me is love. Anyone asking me to do better is love. Anyone considering me, even while they were in pain, is love. My aunts and uncles, too, powerful, incredible, brilliant, and funny, loved so hard. Fort Bernard Rec Center, Drew Recreation Center, Carver Rec Center, Walter Reed Rec Center, the Black Knights, Fraternal Order Police, Arlington County Little League, Bluemont Park. With 100% honesty, I can say I would not be a sports professional today without these places and these people. Seeds were planted, and I am the fruit. Our neighborhood extended into families, the Millers, the Allens, the Spencers, the Etheridges, the Cephases, the Birds, the Venables, the Craddocks, the Clarks, the Dabneys, the Dunbar, the Davises, the Jordans, the Joneses, the Hugheses, the Perrys, the other Millers, the Rosses, and the Barbers. These were the connections and commitments. Families and cousins of family became one. Through good times and bad, the Valley provided the backdrop to our days and nights, shaping our social environment. Every family faced its own friction, but they all made sure to have enough. And they made sure others had enough too. There were some house parties, backyard parties, getting your hair done on the front porch, and the collective joy when the ice cream man came, his music making every day better. Green Valley is the accumulation of people loving and looking out for one another. The Valley is a blend of extremes and simple, basic human goodness. It is our collective story, the worst and best of us. It is a collection of styles, access, resources, and the lack thereof. It's a place where seeds blossom into deeply rooted trees, fully leaved and breathing good oxygen into our souls. It's the music that makes us dance, sing, holler, and cry. It's a series of love stories, dramas, comedies, and soap operas. It's our history laid out in depth and at a high volume. Green Valley is both the struggle and the triumph. It's friction and glory. It's in our blood and is our blood. It's the root, the seeds, the leaves, the branches, the sun and the water. It's the soil that holds our labor and loss. It's the sky that sends the winds of time and change all at once. It's the rain that floods and feeds, and the erosion necessary for positive change to happen. Green Valley is home. 46 acres of foundation and base. It's the voice that comforts you and challenges you to change. It's the anchor that keeps you grounded and the chain that says, go and be great. We will be here waiting for you to share in your victories. The Valley is where legends are born, raised, taught, and loved. It's It's where time reveals all truths and where freedom is across the street in any direction at any time. It's where no matter where you are in the world, you know you have a place that loves you and accepts you exactly as you are all the time. To all the heroes of home inside the valley and beyond, thank you. To the families who were, are, and will be, thank you. To every parent, thank you, love you, well done. To the schools and educators, the coaches and the volunteers, the first responder, and the neighborhood porch watchers, thank you. To the friends who were family, the friends who became family, and those who remain so after 30, 40, and 50 years, thank you. Not bad, Green Valley. For 46 acres, a lot of footprints, and a lot of time, you created enough love to feed the entire planet. You hosted some of the greatest collections of good-hearted, strong, and valuable human beings. I hope you can see what you have done. I certainly hope you see what I see when I look back at you. I carry you with me everywhere I go in this wonderful world of ours, and I am blessed to call you, Green Valley, home.